Hello there, Internet world. My name is Rene Jones, and this is what I learned. Since it's February, I'll be speaking with you about Black history. And today's story begins with the 369th Infantry Regiment based out of Harlem, New York, known as the Harlem Hellfighters. After much pressure from Black communities wanting to serve in the National Guard, the 369th Infantry Regiment was created. They were later shipped out in December 1917 to support our troops. But because of racial bias and several white soldiers refusing to serve alongside their black counterparts, they were then shipped to France in April 1918 and given to the French on loan. The U.S. also provided the French with a pamphlet known as Sickbat, or Secret Information Concerning Black American Troops. Sickbat warned the French not to treat the Negroes as equals. It said they were prone to rape and steal. It also suggested not to eat with them, not to shake their hands, and not to commend them, because those things would make the Negroes think they were equals, and it would cause problems when they returned to the U.S. after the war. Of course, the French refused. They did suffer many indignities while serving alongside the French. Their pay was stopped. Their band was not allowed to play while headed to transport ships, and they were removed from their regiment to serve as orderlies, cutting grass, digging ditches, washing clothes, etc. They were eventually placed under the command of French General Henri Giraud and would later fight in the Argonne Forest. The 369th was led by Henry Johnson, who thought it was crazy to put men in battle with little or no training, but said, "We will get it done." During their battles alongside the French, they never lost a foot of ground. No soldier was ever taken into captivity. They actually served 191 days in combat, longer than any other American unit during the war. One night in May 1918, while serving sentry duty, Sergeant Johnson and Needham Roberts heard a sound, what sounded like the fence being cut. They noticed some 20 to 30 German soldiers about to penetrate their defense line. Sergeant Johnson told Roberts to go alert the French. He immediately threw a grenade and one was thrown back right at him. The shrapnel hit Roberts and he was now down. Johnson fired at the Germans until he ran out of ammunition. He picked up another magazine, placed it in his rifle, only to find that his rifle had jammed. Later, he realized it was a French magazine. After being hit twice by the Germans, he continued to fight using his gun or his rifle as a club. But he was taken down quickly by the sheer number of German soldiers. When he noticed the Germans were trying to take Roberts hostage, Johnson was able to remove his knife and fight back even harder to protect his friend. Stabbing German, after taking more shots to his body and fighting for his life and the life of his friend Roberts, the Germans began retreating. The history books tell us Johnson killed 4 Germans and wounded almost 24 more. He was later called Black Death. After the war, Johnson was asked to travel the country talking about the racial unity that he experienced during the war, but he did not do that. He did travel the country to speak, but he spoke about the abuse he and his fellow soldiers had to endure. Johnson later died in 1929 and was never awarded any medals or even recognized for his achievements until long after his death, when he was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Barack Obama. And as for that band, the regiment that was in the regiment, that was never allowed to play on U.S. soil, they became one of the most famous bands in Europe, playing for the French, the British, and many others. They are remembered for introducing jazz to many European audiences. The band leader, James Reese, was actually stabbed by another band member over a dispute and died a few hours later. He was the first African American to have a public funeral in New York City. As for the rest of the regiment, the German called them the Hellfighters, but here in the U.S., we simply knew them as the Harlem Hellfighters. That's what I learned. I hope you enjoyed this. Please click the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you again and look for many more videos to come. And please share this with anyone and everyone who you think might enjoy it. Thank you.